Hey, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris. Thanks so much for stopping by. Every day I do a vlog and I'm doing one for 1,000 days. So if you're not subscribed, a subscribe would be awesome. Thank you so much. Some interesting stories floating around on the internet at the moment. But one interesting one, which I found kind of quite sad really, was the fact that this chap was working for this organization. It was his lunchtime. He was having a bite to eat. And he noticed a female colleague across the room having difficulty sort of breathing. She was choking, and it wasn't a pleasant scene. So he left his lunch, got up, walked over to her, and performed what a lot of people recognise as the Heimlich manoeuvre. It's possibly known as something else in your region if you do first aid. So he performed that on her. And after a couple of goes, she managed to choke up the obstruction and it was fine. She thanked him at the time. He didn't think any more of that, and he went back to his table and resumed his lunch. Now, he didn't hear anything for a couple of days, but then the Human Resources Department, HR, got in touch with him and said there was a complaint made because the lady in question at the time felt that there was a touching that wasn't appropriate to him giving the first aid. Now, there were other onlookers, I believe, and other people who witnessed the event, and nothing could have been further from this person's mind, I believe. And HR took a little while investigating it, and after some time they came back to him and said there was no case to answer and that he was absolutely fine. But the story has really resonated, and I think it's done its rounds across the internet, because we do live in a very sort of litigious world now. And sometimes people want to help and do good deeds and offer somebody assistance if they really need it. But the risk is there, isn't it? The risk is, do you put yourself out there so that you can help somebody? In order to help them, you leave yourself open for a complaint. And I think if you do something with the best of intentions, it can backfire, like it did for this chap. And I've really felt sorry for the person involved, because I think most people are really good. The instinct is to help people, to give assistance when somebody absolutely needs it. But for somebody to make a complaint about them afterwards, given the fact that there were no grounds, and if you know anything about the Heimlich manoeuvre, you kind of have to reach around and literally lift them off the ground almost. So I felt for the chap involved, and it can make people weary about helping or assisting them in the future. And I can only think that this chap must have felt completely feeling just awful about the complaint being made about him. And I think if they're a good person, they wouldn't let it put them off doing something or helping somebody again in the near future. The fact that the Human Resources Department obviously filed it and didn't acknowledge the fact that this had taken place, and they took a common sense approach, shall we say. And whilst it doesn't denigrate the person's view at the time, but he did actually save her life. And I think most people, given the fact that there is an emergency, the last thing I would like to think is that people are looking for some gratification somehow. So given that in mind, if something happens during your day and you see somebody having an accident or somebody hurt themselves or falling down, would you rush to help them given this litigious time that we live in? It is frightening, isn't it, when you think that you could help somebody and a complaint is born out of that help, and then you have to answer for your actions given that all you've done is act in the best interest. And I think there's been several cases like this across time. People have helped other people and found themselves on the wrong side of the law, given the fact that that something had happened and all they were trying to do was assist that other person. So I think it makes people weary. We do live in a time which is very odd, very strange time. But the key is not to look too far into it, and every case gets taken on its merits. And whilst it serves as a red flag for some people who wouldn't get involved, I do understand to a degree, but I'd like to think that most people, if they saw somebody in a life or death moment or life-threatening situation, if it was in their ability to help them, I'd certainly like to think they'd get involved and act and do something like that. But having said that, the reality is today is that you may yourself, in helping somebody, be the subject of a complaint. Not a great place to be, but I think justice does win out in the end. Common sense prevails. And I can only feel that this chap involved must feel incredibly vindicated, but upset as well, and angry probably because he acted in the best interest in trying to save somebody's life. And he clearly had the skill and the ability to do that because the outcome was favourable. And it's a shame for him. But I think if you are the subject of that, you have to literally forget about it and carry on. And hopefully she won't be in a position where she's in that refectory or canteen eating a meal again where that a similar situation arises. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But I saw the story and I thought I'd commit to a video on it because I'm curious to see how you guys would react. Had HR got a hold of you and said, I'm sorry, but somebody's made this complaint, and they felt that your reaction to it was inappropriate, given the light that the person involved actually thanked them at the time for saving their life. And it's a sad sort of story really, in as much as that it shouldn't put people off. Hopefully common sense and the common sense approach makes everybody feel that they can assist and help somebody in their utmost time of need. Because helping each other collectively as a group, as a community, as a nation, as the human race, we all have a responsibility, I think, to try and help each other if we can. And nobody, I think, likes to see somebody struggle or in pain or hurt. I think most people are good. I really do. I do hang on to that. I really do. I've been on my travels around the world. I've gone to places I've needed help off people at times. And there seems to be, even now today, a willingness for people to get involved, to help you out. And that's gratifying. So I just wondered what you guys thought of that story today. Sad in some respects that we are in this litigious world. Sad that people feel the need to behave this way and do that, especially in the light that there were many people there and there was no sign of any gratification on the chap's part, and he was just doing his best to save her life. So there we are. I thought I'd share that one with you. As always, thank you so much for following and listening and liking. It's never lost on me that you guys do that, and I'm so grateful to you. And if you're a newbie here, and you know, a subscribe will be absolutely fantastic. And like I say, every day I do a vlog, every single day, and every day it's completely different. And that's my promise to you guys, that I will stick to 1,000 days of volume vlogging, as I call it. So thank you so much, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. So I'll see you then. Bye now.